Hello and welcome to our Easy Scheduler webinar. Today's webinar will be about our Scheduler plugin, which is a drag and drop calendar for tasks, CRM, attendance, spend time entries, etc. In order for us to work with Easy Scheduler, let's go to our Easy Redmine trial. So whether you have our free trial or whether you already have a paid version, I believe that you are familiar with the dashboards. Over here we have Easy Scheduler. Just before we start, let me actually introduce myself. My name is Anna Ogunusi. I'm Easy Software Business Development Manager, and I will be your host for this webinar. During our webinar, should you have any questions, please feel free to use the questions and answer feature in the toolbar, and I will get to your questions either during the webinar or after we finish. And if I don't manage to cover all the questions, you can always contact us via our chat window, or we'll be sending an email with the answers to that as well. So especially questions regarding your specific application and the settings, I suggest you use the chat window over here, and you can get in touch with our support team who will help you with the settings specifically for your application. So let me actually switch off the video so you can see properly the whole screen. And let's start the webinar. So as I said, Scheduler is a plugin that shows you all meetings, planned resources, attendance, tasks, to-dos, etc. It's a plugin that is really widely used by our clients because of the fact that you have everything on one screen, which gets very handy, especially when you are managing a team. It can be added to any personal dashboard, such as, for instance, your homepage. So you can see we actually have it over here on our homepage, but I will show you how to add it there as well. So let's delete the one that we have here for now. And as you probably know, when you want to adjust, customize any dashboard, any page, you scroll down to customize this page. And over here, you can actually choose any other module that you wish to add to your dashboard. So here we will select module from the list, and we'll scroll a bit down, and here we have Easy Scheduler. So then you have to modify the Easy Scheduler. You can switch between two scheduler types, which is personal and manager. So for people who are, for instance, project managers, of course, you would work with the manager type. If for your team who are just workers, they don't manage anyone, they will work with their personal type. So let's go for the manager. Then you can choose the display range, so from working calendar, or you can set it manually. I suggest when you are starting, especially when you are starting with it, stick to the from the working calendar option, and then you can add filters. You can add users and groups. You can add external calendars. Everything can be done here. So the basic filter is, especially for the fact that it's showing tasks, the basic filter is that it will show tasks that you are assigning. Then I will show you how to add more filters, and you can be switching between the filters in the Easy Scheduler itself. So once we have this, let's just save it, and let's go back to the home dashboard. So now we have the scheduler here, just like we saw it previously before I deleted it. So as you can see over here in the left side, we have task list in the column, and those are all the tasks that are valid for the filter that we set up. So as I said, you can either set up the filter in the configuration when you are adding the module to your dashboard, or you can set up filters later as well. We will get back to that. You can plan tasks into your calendar, and that's something that is very good for resource planning, because as you know, if you work with our resource management, you were able to like plan resources only by into a day, but not into a particular part of the day. Especially for tasks, you were able to only put a start date, a due date, but you were not able to actually say that this is the time your team member should be actually working on the particular task. So like you want them to work on this in the morning, then around the noon another task, in the evening another task. So this is something that is now possible thanks to Easy Scheduler. So how we work with this task? It's very important for you to have estimated time set up. If you won't have estimated time, which we can see over here, and you can also see it on detail on the task, it won't allow you to actually drag it into your scheduler and plan it within particular part of the day. But it'll always notify you that you have to add the estimated time. So you can see as drag and drop, you can be working with the task. You can see now it's actually notifying us that the allocation is planned outside the task duration, because this task is planned for 2020. So let's work with this task, for instance. So you can see that this task again can be planned in the past. So we can't plan a task for yesterday or the day before. We have to plan for the future. So let's drop it over here. So what happens is it'll actually, when we drop the task in, it'll allocate certain hours to it within the day. We can work with it just by reducing it over here. So you can see if I leave the 4.5 hours here, and let's put 4 hours over here. So if we put 8.5 hours in total, the task has actually disappeared from this side, which means that we have already allocated all the estimated time that we had set for the task. If we reduce it, meaning that there will be some estimated time left to be planned, the task again appears in the left column. So let's reduce it a bit further. And now we have 4 hours left here. Plus 2 plus 2.5 was the 8.5 we had there. So if we want to plan it again, then we can plan it over here. Or you can plan it into the next week or the week after. So if we were to change it again, you can of course adjust the estimated time actually here as well. So any estimated time can be changed directly over here. You don't have to go anywhere else. It can be done here. So if you actually find out that you have a task that does not have estimated time that you have over here, you can change the estimated time here, increase it, decrease it, etc. So, and this is right now you are working with the task where you are assigning yourself. You can also actually assign tasks to your colleague, to your team members if you are a manager. So for that reason, we would be using the filters, and with the filters, we can actually choose the assignees, the users that we want to see, whose calendar we want to see, and who we want to assign the tasks to. However, before we start filtering, let's look at the toolbars that we have, the tools that we have within Easy Scheduler. So over here, we can choose the view. So we can be either choosing a view where we look just at Monday, week, or a month view. So monthly view will look this way. Then you can also see the whole year. When you are looking at the yearly view, you actually can't see the particular tasks and meetings, but you can see it'll be working more as resource management, where you can see the optimum. If you or your team, if you have the optimum level of working hours, if you are over allocation, everything. So you will be able to see this with the colors over here, which is slightly different compared to the weekly view. So you can see it's different. And then you can see agenda, which shows you all the planned actions that you have there. So it can be both meetings, it can be tasks, everything will be shown in a list. And then over here, you can be editing the module, you can delete the module, you can save filters. And when we click on the settings over here, that's when the filters actually appear. So over here, you can see that right now we are looking at myself. And over here, I have 3 filters preset, which is my tasks and high priority. So if I click on high priority, it would show me just the ones with higher priority and my tasks. And this is the filter with the home or house icon is actually the default filter that when you access your Easy Scheduler, it'll always automatically be showing that filter. So over here, we can also choose the users that we want to see. So especially for you being a manager, managing a team, this is very handy. So if you want to, let's say, have a look at consulting team, it would show us another 2 members. Let's go back to the weekly view. And if we click on another user, now we will actually we can be allocating the tasks to that user. So you can see over here with these tasks, it's actually showing who is the assignee over here. So that's a picture for myself, this icon. And if we start giving tasks to Connie, we will be easily differentiating between my tasks and Connie's task. So let's try that. So this is a task that is called assign to somebody, which is perfect for this purpose, but it's too much in the future. So let's try this one. So as you can see, I have dragged this task into my scheduler. And because I'm a project manager and I'm managing my team, in this case, I'm managing Connie, I can actually assign the task to her. Which means that even within Easy Schedule, we can actually change the assignee without having to go in the task details itself. So right now you can see over here that this is, so when you click on it, you can see that's Connie's actually task and this is my task. In the same way, I can actually, let's do it, I can do it with Konstantin as well. You can also see the assignee has actually changed over here. So let's assign a bit more over here. And you can also actually see that it's not affecting my resources. So, but if I wanted to drag this into where Connie already has something, you will see that it's like actually overlapping. You can see failed because of date allocation already exists, so you can't put it in the same place twice. So let's put it over here and let's now work with Konstantin, just to show you how again we can actually change the assignee. So as we can see, this task was assigned to Connie, but if we want, we can actually assign it to, we can change the assignee as well to Konstantin. So we have now assigned the task to Konstantin. And this way we can actually be switching between teams and users. So now we were working with the consulting team, we can go to devel team and we will see someone else again. So we will see those users' calendars as well as we will see the tasks, that our tasks and their tasks, and we can be working with them within Easy Scheduler. We can also actually work with the task even further. Just by clicking on the task, we can see the attributes of the task. So you don't even have to leave Easy Scheduler for you to actually see the details of the tasks. You don't have to go inside the project and click on the task itself. You can click on it within Easy Scheduler. But as you can see, we are not leaving Easy Scheduler. We just have a pop-up window, which is easy to work with. And once we close the pop-up window, we'll be back to our Easy Scheduler. So here we can see the details of the task, such as the status, the assignee, estimated time. As we know, the assignee and estimated time, we can actually change it within Easy Scheduler. The tracker, due date, priority, authors, spend time, resource, project, start date. You can also update the task over here, which is good, especially when you have changed the assignee. So when you dragged the task and assign it within Easy Scheduler to one of your team members, you can add a comment into the task here as well. And you can work further with the task over here. And once we close it, we are back to in our Easy Scheduler and we don't have to be going to another page. So now let's have a look at what else we can actually work with in Easy Scheduler. As you can see, we have here in the legend, we can see that we can work with tasks, meetings, attended sales activities, holidays, and external events. Of course, the holidays are based on the calendar that you use. So it'll be showing, it'll actually look very similar to your meeting calendar that you were probably using till recent before you switched to Easy Scheduler. So it'll take into notice the national holidays for the calendar that you chose in your settings. And you can create entries just by clicking into your Easy Scheduler. So you can choose what type of entry you want to create. You have the variety that you can choose from, such as meetings, tasks, attendance, sales activities, and allocation. With meetings, it's as easy as it actually worked with in the meeting calendar. So you just put a meeting name. You choose the date and time is based on where you clicked, but you can always adjust it over here. You can choose the priority. You can choose the privacy. As you know, with the privacy, it means that, for instance, if you put confidential, it means that if other users look into your calendar, they will only see that you have some allocation, that they can't book or put any other meeting there for you, but they won't see the name of the meeting. With private, they see the name of the meeting, but they don't see other attributes of the meeting. You can add a place, or you can choose a meeting room if you have meeting rooms set up within your Easy8. You can add it to a project. You can put some description, etc. You can choose whether if it's a meeting or in person, audio meeting, or a video meeting. If it's a video meeting and you have integration with Zoom, then you can also choose if you want to meet in your personal meeting room or if it should create a unique meeting room link for that particular meeting. So this is very good. So I strongly suggest, if you are using Easy Scheduler, to actually purchase the Zoom minutes for yourself within Easy8 as well. So you have the Zoom integration of the video meetings within your Easy8. It makes it very easy for planning your online meetings, especially if you have remote workers or clients who are all over the world and you need to schedule meetings with them. This is the best way to do it. Then, of course, the invitations will be sent to, you will choose the users from your Easy8, and you can also add email addresses of your clients, for instance. So we can save the meeting this way. And now you can see that over here is in this color. So it's a meeting. So let's try again for another type of an entry, which would be a task. So we were working with existing tasks and we were scheduling them into our scheduler. However, here, as you can see, you can actually create a new task as well. Again, which makes it actually very easy for you because you don't have to leave your home dashboard. You can create the task without having to go to the project page and do it over there. You can do it here. So task in a scheduler, and you work with it exactly the same way. You can add some comments, you choose which project it is under, you choose the assignee, priority status. If you have a milestone, you can add a parent task, start date, due date. As I said, estimated time is actually really important when working with Easy Schedule, so make sure you have at least some estimated time and you can always adjust it later. And if you have some attachments. The estimated time that we saw there was pre-filled based on the fact that we chose the task for half an hour within the Easy Scheduler, but it can be changed, of course. And again, you can move it around as you need. So that was those were meetings and creating new tasks. You can also create new attendance entry by clicking into your Easy Scheduler. So you choose the activity. Again, this is based on the settings that you have in your Easy Redmine. The preset, the default ones that you would have in your trial one would be office, home office, vacation, or sick leave. So we can put that you are working in the office. Today you are working all day, again based on your settings for attendance or morning, afternoon, user description, etc. So this way you can easily create attendance entry as well as sales activities. So sales activity, again, it's very handy because especially for yourself and your team, if you work with CRM and CRM cases and contacts. So this is very good for people who work with customers. So it can be both sales team or customer care teams. And here you can choose whether you are actually creating the sales activity on a CRM case or on a contact. Then the best way, then you have to look it up here. The best way is if you know the ID, or you can start typing in the name. The same thing is for the CRM case. Then you choose the date for when you want to plan it. Again, it'll pre-fill it based on where you clicked within your Easy Scheduler, but you can always change it. When it's a planned one, as you know, if you worked with our CRM, you will leave is finished unticked. Then you can tick it later when you're done the call, etc. Category depends if you are sending an email, calling the person, having a meeting. Again, can be changed, edited in your settings. You choose the user, you choose the contact. The contact will come up based on the contacts or CRM case that you chose it for, and you can add a description, some notes for yourself. If you actually chose the category of a meeting, it can both create the sales activity in your calendar and sales activity showing in your Easy Schedule, but it'll actually at the same time, it'll create the meeting. So you can either just save it. If you click on save only, it'll create the sales activity on the CRM. If you save it with a meeting, it'll create the meeting as well. So we went through the meetings, tasks, attendance, sales activities, and now we have allocation. Allocation is actually what we were doing with the drag and drop with the tasks, meaning you choose a task, and you choose for the day you want to allocate it to and the time. Again, it's preset. The default that it'll come up with is based on where you clicked within your Easy Schedule. You can always change it to. But this is essentially the same thing that you can do with drag and drop. Another thing that is really good about Easy Scheduler is the video meetings that I actually mentioned. So video meeting is the integration with Zoom. If you don't have your Zoom minutes purchased within your EasyRedMine yet, please contact your account manager from Easy Software, and we can sort it out for you. So, and then you can be actually accessing your Zoom just by clicking within your EasyRedMine, within your Easy Scheduler, and you can be accessing your Zoom room and connect there with your colleagues and your clients. And then here at the bottom, we have something which is iCal URL for event export. So let's talk about exports and imports of calendar events. So if you want to export events or other entities from your scheduler, to another, which is important, iCal compatible. It must be an iCal compatible calendar. You just click on this feature, iCal URL for events export, in the lower corner where I just clicked, and this opens a pop-up window, which is called URL for your calendar. So you either have the URL here or you have the QR code, and you can just copy and paste. And here you also choose which what is the URL code and the URL or the QR code actually what it contains. So by default, you are exporting meetings and attendance. You can also choose to actually export allocations and sales activities. You can see how this is changing when we choose that. So you can choose from 4 entities to which one you want to export. And in order to import calendar events into another EasyRedMine installation or a completely different, again, iCal compatible calendar, meaning if you want to import it, you generate the export link first and then insert it into importing field of the targeting calendar. So those are exports and imports, and probably I would go back to the filters that we briefly already mentioned in Easy Scheduler, and those are over here. So as I said, we always have one default filter, which is the one we set when we are adding the module onto our dashboard. If you want to change the so for instance, if we wanted to save this filter that we have over here, we would go to click on Save Filter, which means the users that we chose, consulting team, and then we can save the filter. So we would name the filter, we would choose who it would be visible to, and that can be based on user or roles, etc. What projects can we use the filter for, whether it can be applied to any project or just a particular project and its sub-projects. You can also choose the color for the filter, assignee status, all these things. You can choose assignees can be the consulting team, and you simply save it. So once you save the filter, it will start appearing over here. So let's test it. Let's go back to our default filter. And as you can see, the default filter are basically my tasks. So it's only showing over here in the users, we can see myself. And over here in the calendar, we can see my meetings only. Or if I had any task, that it would be showing the task. When we click on consulting team, it did not save properly. So we can always, let's go back. Oh yeah, I didn't choose the users, sorry. So consulting assignee is, can choose the any type of assignee we want over here. So now it'll work. So let's go back to the default filter as we said. And now when we click on consulting, we can see the assignees that we chose, which is the consulting team, which is Connie, our consulting, and we can see the tasks that are assigned to them. So we can see their task that they are working on, and in the left column, it'll be only showing the tasks that are, first of all, they are assigned to either of them, and there is still some estimated time left on them, so meaning they have to be allocated within time. So creating new filter is the best way is to actually start the configuration over here and then save it and finish the configuration. And then you can also edit the filters, delete the filters. You can see over here, because we are viewing this filter, we can, here are the icons for editing the filter. So by clicking edit saved filter, you can delete the saved filter, and then you can also copy the filter. The copy the filter is useful especially when you set up that no other user can use this particular filter. So that would be about Easy Scheduler. One thing that is also important is roles and permissions. So just be aware that uh, in order for someone to manage a team, they have to have a certain role and permission for them to see the users, etc. So just make sure that if you have a manager who manages a team, they also use the right Easy Scheduler, they use the one for the manager. And if you have workers or team members who don't manage anyone, who don't need to see or reallocate the tasks to other team members, such as, for instance, here Connie, the consultant, would actually have the personal Easy Scheduler. So I believe we covered the most important bits. We spoke about how to add the dashboard to your homepage, how to add the modules, to your homepage. It can be actually also accessed in the menu, but the best way is to, when you are working with it, work with it on your homepage. So basically, when you actually have Easy Scheduler on your homepage, you don't really need any other module, because this combines several things that you were probably using currently till now, which is your spend time calendar, which is your attendance calendar, which is your meeting calendar, meaning when you are creating your meetings, when you are logging your time on which projects you are working on, where you are logging when you came to work and when you left work. It also saves you time by not having to go into CRM cases and creating sales activities in the CRM case, because you can do it directly in your Easy Scheduler. It saves you time by not having to go on project pages, but instead creating new tasks directly within the Easy Scheduler. So you can schedule the tasks in a particular part of the day thanks to Easy Scheduler. You can view the agenda view, which shows you all the a list of all the planned activities. You can work with the task directly over here. You can allocate tasks to different team members, and you can also view their calendar, as in what meetings they have planned, what tasks they are already working on within the particular time of the day. So you can also save filters. So if you work with some group of your groups or your teams, or if you have several teams, or if you work on different projects, you can actually save those as filters. So you can just come to your Easy Scheduler and you can be changing the filters just by clicking, choosing the filters up over here. You can export and import your calendars. You can save the filters. You can integrate it with Zoom. I strongly suggest, whether you are using scheduler or whether you are using meeting calendar, but if you are using some kind of video meetings, definitely consult one of my colleagues who is in charge of your account about the video meetings for Zoom and getting your Zoom minutes. You can always also access the documentation for Easy Scheduler on our website. It's very simple. Just if you type in here scheduler, and it's actually the first link over here. So basically everything we actually covered today is over here in details. So if you want to get back to something what we covered today, we will actually be posting a recording of today's webinar. It's already live on Facebook. So if you go to our Facebook page, Easy Redmine, you will find the webinar already there. We'll be also posting it on our website shortly. And you can also read actually about the settings and everything we covered today or in our documentation as well. So thank you so much for attending today's webinar. I can see we have actually one question. So the question here, that's a really good question. Thank you, Maxim. The question was, up to how many people can I see on one view? I need to manage the schedule of 7 to 8 people at the same time. You can see as many people as you want. So let's find a team. Let's click on sales team. So actually, yeah, these don't have anything actually scheduled in their calendar at the moment. That's why it's not really showing that busy. But if you had as you can see, you can actually choose as many members as you want to view over here. You can always get rid of them just by clicking on the bin. So you are left just with the ones you want. And you can see all their things here, meaning if any of them had a meeting, you would write, you can see it over there. You can click between them. If they had some task scheduled, you will be able to see it over here as well. So it's actually up to you. Just be aware that the more people you have, and especially if it's, for instance, a sales team and they will have a lot of sales activities planned, the view can get a bit messy in that way. But anyways, to answer your question, you can manage as many people as you want in one view. So is there a way to get it less messy? Well, it really depends. It really depends on what type of entities do they have in there. Because I know that when I work with my sales activities, when I plan my sales activities into my calendar, and I will have 20, 30 sales activities, just viewing my own calendar that way can actually, the view is already a bit messy just for myself. So it really depends what kind of entities you work with within the calendar. But simply, you will be able to see whatever they have planned. But you see, that's actually the advantage when you compare Easy Scheduler and Meeting Calendar. In Meeting Calendar, regarding the sales activities now, in Meeting Calendar, you were only able to see your own sales activities, but you were not able to see other people's sales activities unless the sales activity was an actual meeting logged in the calendar as a meeting. Which means that when people had, I don't know, emails, calls, like phone calls planned within their calendar as sales activities, you were not able to see it as a manager or as a colleague, so you could have still planned a meeting there while they actually had a phone call, for instance, planned. So that's why Easy Scheduler is much better, because it allows you to see all the entities, so you can be sure that you are not double booking people, that you are not actually interfering with something that they have already planned for the day. So thank you for your questions. And just to let you know, in case you would think of any question later, feel free to contact us in the corner over here, right lower corner of your, whether it's our website, whether it's your EasyRedMind application, and just get in touch with us. Our support team will help you with anything you need, whether it's your settings or whether you have questions about purchasing the plugin, or you can actually, regarding the purchase, you can contact your account manager directly. So we'll just to let you know, we'll be doing extra webinars now again on a regular basis. So every other week there will be a webinar. We'll be, of course, sending out an email, and the information will be on our website as well. I believe the next webinar should be about Gantt, and it should be in 2 weeks' time on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central European time, meaning Prague time. So I hope to see you then, and should you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us via chat, via phone, via email. Send us email to support@easyredmind.com if you need anything. And I wish you all the best and good luck with your projects.